And in that case, the person sitting there is an electronic warfare officer, a recon officer who's in charge of all of that equipment in the bay and is making sure they're flying to the right place and getting the right intel that they need. He's got really, really tiny windows. And he doesn't even have a stick. It's terrible. So this is the SR-71 era. 57, even before Francis Gary Powers was shot down, the A-12 was already in work. The first incarnation from 66 to 89, and it was retired, and then deactivated from 89 to 93. So from 93 to 99, when they started flying it again, they had retrofitted it with equipment that would allow them to get real-time telemetry out of the aircraft. But at some point, you know, in 99, they finally said, look, we've got spy satellites, we've got other assets, this thing's getting really, really expensive, and we better retire it. And they did.
You know what pushed it in 93 was Congress.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We probably stopped giving them enough, give them enough rides and they would keep renewing it. But I'm being a little sarcastic. But we did have some missions where we gave distinguished visitors rides in the SR-71. Most of the activity when I was flying was occurring around Beale Air Force Base is where we were assigned, which meant you most often were over in Japan or the UK. When you were in the UK at Mildenhall, which by the way they're closing now, we were part of the European Tanker Task Force, which meant that we had A models over there to fly also, and we would support the F-4s in Germany, which never could get off the ground because the weather was so bad. So, this is a history of speed, and I will make the prediction that nothing is ever going to beat the SR-71 as the fastest air-breathing manned aircraft, because when you start getting faster things, then you're talking about things like the X-43, which is really a hypersonic space vehicle launched off of a rocket. Apollo capsules could get to Mach 30. Space shuttles are about Mach 23. I have no idea whether this is real, but you can go out on the internet and they'll tell you that the SR-91 Aurora unmanned reconnaissance UAV was what took over for the SR-71, and they'll tell you that it went Mach 5 to Mach 8 at 100,000 feet. But that's unmanned, so that doesn't count for the manned speed record. Again, if that record ever gets broken, it may be by something that goes 66 minutes from LA to New York, but it won't be a half an hour. There's just no way. So let's talk about speed, because that has a big, that plays a big factor in the tanker, which I'm going to talk about later. This is the top speed of the refueling tanker at about 0.77 Mach. When you're flying fast, you're looking at your Mach gauge. And so this particular graph has Mach numbers. Like here is a 0.75 line, which has a little bit of a bend in it. See if you can see right around here, Mach 2.5, that line goes up like that. And Mach is associated, or Mach 1 is the speed of sound. And the speed of sound is directly related to the temperature of the air around you. So because we're talking about different altitudes here, that line moves a little bit. But this little chart here, you could pull it up later and think about it all you want, but the point I wanted to make here is that the SR-71 is flying up here about Mach 3, Mach 3.1, 3.2, which translates to about 3,000 feet per second, which is about the muzzle velocity of a .338 Winchester Magnum. So when they say SR travels at the speed of a bullet, it does. And then, you know, that brings up the question, if your tanker can only go this fast and the SR goes that fast, how do you ever get together?